All right, so Drama Queen kicks off with a banger of a premise. 9 years ago, aliens saved Earth from a catastrophic meteor, and since then, humans and aliens have been coexisting. On the surface, it sounds like a peaceful cooperative setup, right? But things get messy real quick. The world building here is sharp and satirical. Aliens have become this privileged class living in luxury apartments, getting free parking and enjoying all sorts of benefits. Meanwhile, humans are kind of treated like second-class citizens, and our main character, Nomamoto, is not having it. The story opens with Nomamoto walking through the city. She accidentally gets elbowed in the face by an alien, her nose starts bleeding, and she demands an apology. But the alien brushes her off, claiming she's falsely accusing him. Classic gaslighting moment, right? Nomamoto gets pissed and storms off, muttering about how she wishes all aliens would just die. Oh, and there's this hilarious little moment where she randomly adds, "Just like I hate women who call their boyfriends partner." Like, girl, where did that come from? Nomamoto is such an interesting character because she's stuck in this constant tug-of-war between gratitude and resentment. Sure, she acknowledges that the aliens saved Earth and brought all this advanced technology, but she can't ignore how condescending and entitled they act. And man, her life is rough. She's got a terrible boss who literally hits her low pay and co-workers who hate her because she's always scowling. Honestly, it's like the universe just keeps piling on her, and instead of wallowing, she pushes back with this hilarious mantra, "Misery is for the weak." Like, it's so dark but so funny at the same time. Then we meet Kitami, the male lead. He's a coworker of Nomamoto, and the first time we see him, he stands up to their alien boss after getting shoulder checked. The boss freaks out and starts mumbling in alien, which prompts Kitami to wonder, how is this guy even the boss if he doesn't speak our language? Kitami's this calm, thoughtful guy on the surface, but as the chapter progresses, we learn he's got his own deep-seated issues with aliens. His entire family was killed in a drunk driving incident caused by one. And the police didn't even bother investigating because, as Kitami puts it, they were probably too scared of causing an interplanetary scandal. The beach scene is one of my favorite moments in the chapter. Nomamoto and Kitami bond over their shared disdain for aliens, venting their frustrations by literally kicking sand and shouting stuff like, "How come only you get cooling spray? Pay us better wages." It's this cathartic, hilarious scene where they find joy in their shared misery. And there's this one line from Nomamoto that really sums up the vibe. Who knew it was so much fun being miserable? Then the story takes a massive turn. Back at work, Nomamoto's abusive alien boss gets his comeuppance in the most ironic way possible. He's holding a cooling spray. Turns out it's super flammable, and as he lights a cigarette, he goes up in flames. And Nomamoto, she just stands there shocked. Her coworkers freak out and accuse her of not helping, and next thing you know, she's fired. Later, she's at home lying in bed thinking, it's scary how I don't feel any guilt. Now, here's where the story dives headfirst into dark comedy. Kitami shows up at Nomamoto's apartment carrying a dead alien. Apparently the alien had whacked him in the face, refused to apologize, and Kitami just snapped. He killed the alien and now needs Nomamoto's help to dispose of the body. And Nomamoto, instead of freaking out, she suggests eating it. Yeah, you heard me, eating it. Kitami's reaction is priceless. But Nomamoto, in her twisted logic, points out that they're both already screwed, so why not? And as she cooks and eats the alien, she reflects on how none of her misery matters when she's got a belly full of tasty food. It's so messed up, but it's also oddly relatable. Like, sometimes food really does fix everything. The chapter ends with this dark, almost absurd plan forming between them. Kitami kills the aliens, and Nomamoto eats them to dispose of the bodies. They even dream about eventually getting rid of all the aliens this way. It's equal parts horrifying and hilarious. Nomamoto's line about hating women who call their boyfriends their partner is such a random but revealing moment. It's easy to brush off as a throwaway gag, but it actually adds a lot to her character and the themes of the story. This line tells us a lot about Nomamoto. She's clearly someone who gets annoyed by little things, and she's unfiltered about it. It shows her as hypercritical and a bit judgmental, which fits with her overall personality of being perpetually scowling and bitter. But it also feels like a defense mechanism. She's deflecting her bigger frustrations with life onto something trivial. Instead of dealing with the massive inequalities around her, she's channeling her irritation into this weirdly specific pet peeve. There's also an interesting layer here about language and labels. The word partner is often used to indicate equality in relationships or to avoid gender-specific terms like boyfriend or girlfriend. For Nomamoto, who's already stuck in a system where humans feel beneath aliens, the idea of calling someone a partner might feel like another layer of forced equality that doesn't sit right with her. It's as if she sees it as pretentious or insincere, like, why not just say boyfriend? What are you trying to prove? It could also hint at her disdain for things that feel overly polished or progressive, especially in a world that's so blatantly unfair. She might resent people who get to focus on small details like relationship labels while she's stuck dealing with bigger issues like poverty and alien oppression. On the flip side, the sheer randomness of this line adds to the manga's dark humor. Nomomoto blurting out, "Just like I hate women who call their boyfriend's partner while she's stewing over aliens is so absurd, it's hilarious." It's one of those moments where her frustration boils over and she lashes out at anything, even if it's unrelated. This randomness also makes her feel more human. Who hasn't had one of those irrational pet peeves that you suddenly blurt out in the middle of a rant? It makes her character relatable, even though she can be a bit crazy. This line ties into the broader theme of resentment and displaced anger. Nomomoto's hostility toward aliens is justified in the context of the story. They're privileged, condescending, and abusive. But this petty line shows how her anger doesn't just stop at the aliens, it spills into other areas of her life. She's angry at the system, at her circumstances, and even at little things like how people label their relationships. It's a reminder that when people are deeply unhappy, their frustrations can manifest in unexpected and seemingly trivial ways. Nomomoto's rant about partner is a small but brilliant moment that adds layers to her character. It's funny, it's random, and it encapsulates her pent-up frustration in a way that's oddly relatable. There's also a great example of how Drama Queen balances its heavy themes with moments of absurd humor, making you laugh while also giving you something to think about. Now, let's dive into what's probably the most heated criticism surrounding Drama Queen, the claim that it's racist and that it should be canceled. Drama Queen isn't just some dumb alien invasion story, it's a deep, dark satire about power, inequality, and how much of a mess we can make of everything when we let anger take over. But here's the thing, people are missing the point. They're making this way bigger than it is, and it's kind of hilarious. First of all, let's clear something up. Drama Queen isn't a manga about hating immigrants. It's about inequality, plain and simple. The aliens in the story are privileged as hell. They've got luxury apartments, free perks, and all this advanced tech, while the humans are stuck dealing with terrible jobs and low wages. Sound familiar? It's a reflection of how power works in the real world, whether it's corporations, governments, or anyone with a leg up using their position to keep everyone else down. And guess what? That is what the manga is really critiquing. Not immigration. People who are getting mad about it, they're focusing on the wrong damn thing. Now, here's where things get spicy. The humans are supposed to be eternally grateful for the aliens saving the Earth, right? They're supposed to just shut up and accept it because the aliens came in like superheroes. But you know what? Nomomoto and Kitami aren't having it. They're pissed off. And can you blame them? I mean, who wouldn't get pissed when the system's set up for the aliens to be worshipped while humans are treated like trash? Kitami even goes as far as wondering if the aliens staged the whole damn meteor crisis just to swoop in and take over. They come in, save the day, and then start flexing on everyone. It's almost like the real problem isn't immigration or aliens, but how we let power manipulate us with this be grateful BS. Here's where the manga really gets me. You know how sometimes you're just so fucking miserable that all you can do is bitch and moan? Well, Nomomoto and Kitami bond over that misery. They start kicking sand at the beach, complaining about everything, from their terrible jobs to how aliens get all the good shit. And you know what? It's kind of fun to watch. They're venting, they're laughing about how screwed up everything is, and honestly, it's a damn mood. Like, sometimes misery can bring people together, I get it. Who knew that kicking sand could actually feel kind of therapeutic? It's that feeling of saying, fuck it, let's just vent, and not giving a crap what anyone thinks. Now, here's the part that made some people lose their shit. Nomomoto straight up cooks and eats an alien. She suggests they just eat the body to get rid of it. It's gross, it's dark, and it's totally absurd. But honestly, that's kind of the point. Nomomoto doesn't feel an ounce of guilt about it. She's just like, well, whatever, it's just food now. And that's a huge commentary on how desensitized people can get when they've been beaten down by society for so long. The aliens have all this power and control, and humans are left to scrape by. When you're that far gone, you stop feeling guilt over the little things. It's not about, let's go eat immigrants. It's about how people lose their humanity when they're trapped in a system that doesn't give a shit about them. And then there's this whole question of narrative. The aliens saved the Earth, but did they really? Or was it all just a setup to put them in control? Kitami's doubts throw a wrench in the whole alien savior narrative, and Drama Queen wants us to question everything. If we're going to worship these aliens, don't we have the right to ask some hard questions? Who benefits from this whole story being told the way it is? So, let's get this straight. Drama Queen is not a fucking anti-immigrant manifesto. It's a satirical commentary on power, inequality, and the messed up ways people cope with a broken system. People calling it bigoted are missing the entire damn point. The manga's critiquing how society makes you swallow your resentment and gratitude without questioning it. So if you're getting mad about this manga, maybe you're acting like the real Drama Queen. What do you think? Is this manga pushing boundaries or just overblown controversy? Drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this. Until next time, stay curious and maybe don't eat aliens.